Hey there, peoples. Welcome back. Carpo's channel here with Carpo, your host. If you're surprised to have me back on the show, then don't be, because I'm going to be your host again since the other Josh left. And that's pretty stupid for an introduction. That's why people think things through. That's why a lot of people edit their videos and make sure that they don't say something really dumb at the beginning and then end up uploading it anyway. Which I will, because I don't edit and don't care. I wanted to talk a little bit about the need for music. You know, I was watching a show earlier, and I thought, okay, if I want to get away from this and away from my phone, what I need to do is turn on some music, and then I can get motivated to start organizing and cleaning and stuff. So I turned on a guy, Grouch is his name. He's from New Zealand, I believe. He's a DJ, and he played at Symbiosis when I went with my family to see the Eclipse Festival. And we went with kids. It was a pain in the ass, and we couldn't get to see all the shows we wanted to. And one time in the morning, I remember hearing this DJ that was just totally tearing it up. And his name was Grouch, I found out later. So I've been listening to his stuff ever since, and it's a really solid floor dance beat. And the thing is, I know that a lot of people who listen to it would be so annoyed with it because it's the same beat all the way through for a whole hour-long set. The old joke about, techno, right? And so I started thinking about, why do I like this when so many people don't? And it's multifaceted and extremely complicated. But I guess I wanted to give a perspective into why people like techno music, dubstep, things like that. Why I love my wub wub. And that's the term for, that wub wub, that you hear in techno music, or rather dubstep mostly. And in the world of electronic music, as you would call it, several different levels, areas, different genres, all the way back to when I first started listening to the Chemical Brothers and the Propeller Heads back in the 90s. And I've always loved the sound of good techno, like there was a guy, DJ Shadow, that I listened to for a while, and some of it I would like, some of it I wouldn't. I'm very selective. Then one year I went to Soap, which is the Burning Man we have out here, the regional on the West Coast in Oregon. And I already liked techno, but I hadn't really never heard a lot of DJs playing it on the dance floor, especially out in the woods. Instantly fell in love. It became a second home of mine to go out to these shows. And I've gone to see Excision and a couple times here in Portland, but a variety of, I don't really go see, DJs very often, but usually it's an event we go to. They have several of them. But music itself, that's just one thing I like. I grew up listening to heavy metal, 80s music, classic rock, Grateful Dead, Fish. I've got all the hippie music down, plus I've got all the, I love jam bands. I played in one. But I also love classical music, and I love, pretty much everything that you could imagine. And so, trying to, say, I'm listening to classical right now, and there's actually a song that I don't like, because I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't like violins. I just don't like violin. There's certain music I don't like too. I don't like modern blues, or bar blues, as you would call it. And I'm not talking about like 4-bar blues, like as far as the, the scale or the timing of it, but rather just blues that you would hear at a bar. Just your standard cover band playing the same old songs. It was never my thing. If you want to hear the blues, listen to Jimi Hendrix, or, there's a few, great older artists, of course. B.B. King is amazing. But music itself is very subjective, each individual is going to find what they like and what works for them. And it's ridiculous for people to argue over what's good and bad. what's good and bad is so subjective. It's nearly impossible to identify good from bad when it comes down to what if it's a very simple song, simply constructed, but it's just so classic that everyone loves it. There are a lot of those. I mean, there's a reason why people learn songs from a lot of classic rock bands, because they're relatively simple. Some of them are extremely complicated. Then there's some that are just mind-blowing but haven't ever really been replicated or played because they're just too, you know, I don't know, like a lot of Fish songs, for example, are extremely complicated to play. But they're fun and playful songs. You know, they're not intended to be too serious, but musically they are extremely serious. And then there are some songs that are like, you know, two chords all the way through, and they're just like classic, amazing songs. But anyhow, I guess I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, and not just the music itself, but why it hits me so hard sometimes when I need to get motivated. It can be a very useful tool. But what's been bugging me lately is I need music. I need live music, and the pandemic is just bullshit. I was thinking, you know, of course, back at the beginning, I was all for, you know, shutting down everything for a short period of time if we had to, but it didn't work. It's time to go back to concerts, packing in a whole bunch of sweaty people sneezing on each other. I know that sounds horrible, but you don't have to go to the concert if you don't want to, right? I'm totally of the mind that it should be a personal choice to go out and enjoy music, and if people don't want to go, they don't have to. But I kind of thought of this joke I told my wife earlier. I was like, you know, we should go out and petition to make music a religion, because it basically is. Going to concerts is like going to church for a lot of people. It's a way to release your aggressions, your emotions, your feelings, to bond with other people you've never met. It's an extremely bonding situation, and I think that's why I like techno music so much, is because, not techno, but good, deep bass music. There's two reasons. I'm a bass player, for one. I love bass. I always have. I always had bass in my car, and I played bass guitar since I was 15. But the second thing, and I think one of the most important things that people overlook, is that there are no words. And I mean, there are no words in the music generally. They might use samples or clips of people talking, but the DJs play a bunch of different, you know, jams together that sound good, that allow you to dance and groove, get your tribal feelings out, while at the same time not having sounds to ruin the music. And I don't mean that vocals ruin music, but they really can sometimes, especially when you're in certain states of mind. So, you know, people just want to get out there and enjoy themselves and listen to music, and I totally can relate. So that's about all I got. Just wanted to chat about music. Thanks to all my peeps. Be well. Gotta go. I hear more violins in the background. Play the world's smallest violin.